For nearly 50 years, Myanmar was under military rule. This nascent democracy is under their control again. On February 1, the newly elected parliament was meant to convene its first session. Instead, in the hours before dawn, politicians, including the country's de facto leader Aung San Suu Kyi and members of her National League for Democracy party, were rounded up in a military coup. The army chief, General Min Aung Hlaing, who has seized power, says the coup was inevitable. Relations between the military, known as the Tatmadaw, and the NLD were growing ever more strained after November's election. The NLD won in a landslide. The military-backed party, the USDP, performed poorly and demanded a rerun, citing widespread voting irregularities. The Election Commission said there was no evidence to support the fraud allegations. But the military cited the government's failure to investigate the claims as the reason for the move against them on Monday. Suu Kyi became the public face of Myanmar's civilian leadership after the 2015 elections, but the Tatmadaw held on to significant power. The military drafted the constitution, retained a quarter of the seats in parliament, and controlled key ministries. Suu Kyi stood by them after the military's brutal crackdown on the Muslim Rohingya population in Rakhine State in 2017. She defended them at The Hague against allegations of genocide committed against the Rohingya. Her pact with the generals tarnished her international reputation. But as November's election results showed, she and the NLD were popularly re-elected for another term. It's been a decade since the country transitioned to a nominally civilian government. But this week's events have underlined how quickly democratic reforms can be undone. In Myanmar's largest city, Yangon, this is how people have been demonstrating against the military takeover. Making noise has become an act of resistance, and the people want to be heard.
We joined in with the banging of pots last night until they went out of shape. We did this because this is the only thing that we are able to do at the moment. I'm glad I did it, and at the same time we want the international community to be aware of this situation because we are not able to fight back in terms of power against them.
Medical staff around the country, including those at government-run hospitals, have also gone on strike in protest. Just how far this peaceful pushback will go and for how long it will hold up is hard to anticipate. There's fear amongst many about the return of junta rule.
We can only say we're very sorry, but I wouldn't dare say we don't accept the coup. I'm speaking honestly.
Before she was detained, Suu Kyi urged her supporters to protest against the coup. The NLD has reiterated the calls for civil disobedience. The military has declared they'll be in charge for a year and will hold elections after that. But Myanmar has heard similar promises before. The facts are that the will of the people has been replaced by force, and what comes next can't be predicted. Natalie Perhonen, The Newsmakers.